Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all staying safe out there. A little bit of a belated video then today for my Canadien, spelled EN at the end instead of AN, made by Power Machinery, a real monster of a vintage saw. So this is they've got great history actually. It's an interesting read, Power Machinery. They were in British Columbia, Vancouver in Canada, and ended up being taken over by, I think, British Aero Industries. Can't think when that was, but they have a very interesting history and a beautiful selection of vintage saws. So this is a gorgeous engine, 95 cc's, can run up to a 36-inch bar, the Canadiens, and so this one's running a beautiful solid nose tip. I'll do a walk around actually in a second with the camera. 24-inch guide bar, 404 chain in excellent condition. Was non-running, and I've done nothing to it. She's just been, again, just hung in my collection, and I checked the spark plug, and as so many of these vintage ones had the wrong spark plug in it, and I haven't wanted to touch it because it's just, as you'll see with the camera walk around, it is so original and just so untouched. It's just a thing of beauty. But it's also nice to know if they are potentially going to work and fire and run. So I've changed the plug, and it seems to have a good spark, if occasionally intermittent, which may mean that it wants the points looking at, which would not be surprising. So these were they originally were a blue top back in, I think, 1960 or 61. And then a few years later they moved to what I think is the more desirable model, which is the red top. And you have beautiful, beautiful switch gear, this lovely thumb lever for the oiler, this large lever here for the choke. So she's had the plug changed and checked, and I pulled the carburetor off because with the squirt of fuel it seemed to fire, and then with the carburetor off I put a correct Tillotson diaphragm and pump in it, brand new, but not an inconsiderable amount of money, and she's definitely not right, so I presume the flywheel needs to come off, but it isn't what I'm going to spend time on and work on. But I hope for maybe another fellow collector that this may be something that somebody will buy and absolutely love. She's got the beautiful original aluminium fuel tank caps. The later ones went to plastic. These are all mag alloy, and inside they have a gorgeous, like a neoprene gasket with a stainless steel band or plate, and then a tiny shaped spring clip which allows the tank to breathe, and also there's a little pressure relief valve on top of the tank. It's just beautifully engineered. So fires, sold as a restoration project, not running correctly, but great compression and all the makings, I would say, for a spectacular vintage saw, and becoming nearly irreplaceable, because to find them this complete, everything intact, unbroken, is just nearly impossible with something approaching, what is she approaching? 55 years old, circa that type of age. So, kill switch, a little bit high up here. Choke this way. So, like I say, she's a tiny bit erratic running, but it's a fabulous engine. Choke off, maybe we can get so, bit rough low down, and so there we go, we pulled this. So I don't know if the spring is gone or if that's just if that's just jammed out. So incredible. This is what happens with old saws. So obviously fires, temperamental lowdown, that needs to be looked at, but can't show you an instant restart, guys, I'm afraid. Let me do a quick walk around with the camera as well, because it's very important for people to see just the condition things are in. I would normally pause, but this is going to be really quick because it's just literally a couple of nuts and bolts. And I will take off the side cover actually, because that's nice to see as well. It's strange on old engines, you get it if you haven't used them for a very, very long time, or they've been stood up for a very long time. I remember having it once with a really old John Seard 1970s, I think it was a 49 SP, and I went to start it, it started again with the pull cord broken. I just left it ticking over in the video for people. Okay, so wow, she really is such a beautiful saw. Okay guys, I hope the rain's not getting on the lens either. We'll see how we go. So really, completely untouched. All the overspray on the fuel pipes. This gorgeous clutch lever, choke lever assembly, and oil pump on the other side, and you see it squirting oil in, copious amounts of oil dripping down. Original clutch drum with the overspray, very unusual as well. If I can bring it in here, I wonder if I can zoom in. Oh, I can, okay. You'll see the original power machinery label, and they're always gone. On the ones I've had, they've always been missing, so that's beautiful to have that in there. So the chain guide plates are present in excellent condition. There's this gorgeous 24-inch original Canadian bar with great tip symmetry. A beautiful, I think this is actually I've listed it as a full chisel, but looking at it again, I think this is what they can class as a chamfer chisel by the look of it. I think it's either a chamfer chisel, I don't think that's a semi-chisel, I think it's a chamfer chisel, but a beautiful old vintage chain. Oh, turn around. So she's a heavy girl, I guess. Power heads on their own are approximately 20 pounds, and with this bar and chain setup, the saw will weigh probably 23 pounds. All the way around, this beautiful mag alloy finish everywhere. Please assume that the starter spring is now broken, which is dreadfully unfortunate, because that's, well, I'll update the listing if that's the case. The original foot is present. The original rubbers are present on the bar, which is unheard of. The chain side cover with the tensioner present and looks completely unbroken. Just this gorgeous patina and old paint. The original top with the imported dealer badge, which is still riveted to the lid, and there's the Canadian logo. And inside, needle settings for the carburettor. No brakes again, which is so unusual. Original big screw for the top with its quartz thread, and then the aluminium shroud, the heatsink shroud. And the front of the engine, this beautiful imposing felling spike. There's the oil tank, gorgeous engineering. And this beautiful, beautiful wide exhaust, beautiful construction. As you can probably tell, guys, I love the old engineering, because it's built in a way which is just disappearing from our world now. You just don't get them like this. The throttle lever or mag alloy, choke, mag alloy, manual oiler, this beautiful cast magnesium alloy. All the original overspray on the HT leads, the original overspray on the flywheel. So there she is. That's the Power Machinery Canadien 270 95cc vintage chainsaw, sold as a restoration project, collector's item. Obviously starts running erratically, and please assume that the very unfortunate spring has decided to either let go, or maybe it may be jammed. When they haven't been pulled for a long time, sometimes they coil up and they jam. So okay guys, thanks for watching. Any questions, please just ask, and I will do my best to answer. Bye for now.